very small, or short, it's called. And I always get very, very nervous when I read, so I write every word down that I'm going to say. But yes, I will be reading from my upcoming work, Oak, which means book. And I have the test print, so it will look something like this. It's very small, but it's 54 poems in fairies. And my PhD, I'm very interested in the connection between poetic language and phenomenology. So that's my passion, you could say. So maybe you can hear it in these poems. Yes. Okay. The poems haven't been translated yet because they're not published yet. But I will try to introduce each poem that I read in English before I read in Faroese. So in these poems, there's no first person, there's no I. There's only the indefinite subject, they. So the poems are kind of a story about not an I, but about a them. So you could say maybe that it's kind of a story about something collective or plural in a sense, but I'm not quite sure. So what does it mean for a poem to have no person, a singular pronoun? It could mean that there is not one person speaking or writing, but a plural voice that is not alone, not solemn, not left in isolation, but rather writing or mapping, describing or remembering a life world communally. So maybe it's a voice writing from a feeling of togetherness, I hope. Maybe remembering something lost, like nature, the body, sexuality in its innocence. Or maybe seeing the world as if it were experienced for the first time. So I will read maybe 11 poems, maybe 10, maybe 9. I'll see. I'll just look. Maybe 9, maybe 10, maybe 11. I'll see. Okay, so I'll have some water first. My hand is always like this when I'm reading. Okay, so tilvit means consciousness. And in this first poem, they are born into consciousness, into the future and into the past at the same time. They are chewing bread and stimural gum. And they will be living in houses built from memories of this earth. Tilvit. Eina fer fóru tey að vera fødd inn í okkur tilvit. Tey fóru að eiga ross. Tey fóru að hava barndómar. Tey fóru að tyggja brey og stimuról. Tey fóru að búgva í húsum úr minnum hesa jörð. Negl means nails. In this poem, they experience the nails on their feet for the first time. And whilst they are cutting into them with clippers, they see into the geological layers of past ages. Negl. Neglunar á tannum, tey hugsaðu djór, horn, og var það satt að negl vuksu víðari eftir deyjan. Tá tey klipptu av teimum var það sum að søkja inn og í flægir av samantrunkaðum öldum. Inverted commas is the title of this next poem. In this poem, the word e, meaning I in Faroese, is at the center. They have never heard themselves say it before, and now suddenly they hear it for the first time, not knowing its grave implications. Fyrstu fer tey søgdu skiltu tey ikki implikasjónirnar. Tað ljóðaði fyrir teimum som et signal, heldur enn en nevning. Lær, ver, means thigh, lip. In this poem, we learn how a thigh or a lip can be fully itself, beautifully and calmly, without any other function than being simply itself. Think about how, when you are sitting, like right now, and you have one thigh crossing the other thigh, and it sort of just lays there, and it is warm. And then think about how your lip sometimes is just being itself, and that point just before you want to say something, maybe it twitches. Lær, ver. Ta et lær, bara vær, sig sjálft. Vær ta sig sjálft, så flott. Klatt i buksestoff, gnudjaje. Ta beinene flutte seg til gongo. Men eisne ta lære la stilt og kross iver hit lære. Gav ta fra seg hita innanifra. Viaje vi sunne vekt, nira te som saktans kunde kallast beinkrossa rå. Og så eisne verren, ta hon bara vær seg sjálv, vær hon seg sjálv så fin, kunde vera vat av sleve, ta hon svølte eina utsøgn, men eisne avgjørd pressa av hina verrena, etla hon bara nærste luft, så med tøy som hon lukka som atla i næka. Nalve means navel or belly button. In this poem, they notice their belly button and the skin tissue that encapsulates the event that is their birth and that cannot be undone. Nalve. Nalve. Mitte konstant av sig självan, mitt av bjudgenom. Falda i vevna eina hending som ikkje kunde gjerast Ungt, høka means youth, chin. In this poem, they realize how youth strangely is located on the chin, and how the world cares for this ephemeral quality before it is suddenly transformed and gone. Ungt, høka. Ungt, møtte verene fremst av høkene, ta et smil, presentera i seg, strala i ta var eller fugl. Og veren, ja, hon kjente sina omsorgan fyrir Jesus, åren til at seg fløyta. Altså nei, læt seg, ikkje bara så leis fjuss, som det flei lest, medan eiene til våre hål ut og inn i transformasjonene, så det henda. Bloma means flower. In this poem, they understand that the unease or unrest that they feel is like a flower that lightly caresses or hugs them while sprinkling and trembling. Bloma. Te kundu skilja óróna som eina blómu. Luftfönte innasta fjoltre, drussaje. Årstøyer means seasons. In this poem, they ask if they can live with themselves, and they enter into a conversation with the 4 seasons: fall, winter, spring, and summer. Summer is the least worried season, responding the question in a relaxed fashion with the answer, blah blah. Årstøyer, te spurtu. Kunne vi leva vi okkom sjálvum? Årstøynar voru samrøver hetta. Heste sveraje, vi kvørst som vat leiv. Veteren sveraje, ja. Vare sveraje, tid leva. Sommare sveraje, bla bla. A means river. In this next poem, they start to question how words and world correspond. They sink their hands into the river, and lift into their palms the gold-white foam of the river. And all of a sudden they feel that the wet bubbles from the foam, bursting in their cold hands, are the blinking eyes of the river. Og hvorfor kunde ord takast bokstavelige, og i en ver som ikke let seg lyse. De tog opp i hendene av årsgjomme, og i tog at godkvøyde blørene brust og vått mellom køld og fingrene. Var det for teimen som at dette var årene eio som blunka av. Poem number 10. Fyrirgeving av bøye means forgiveness on the field. There are 4 poems about forgiveness in this book. And in this poem, the wildflowers out on the field are shining in the evening, and these flower lamps on the grass are forgivenesses, light blue, yellow, purple, and pink. Fyrirgeving av bøye. Villblommenar av bønum lustu, ta det var kvöld. Blomolampor voru fyrirgevingar, ljósablåar, gular, lilla, pink. Poem number 11. This last poem is called Sex Modern. There are 7 poems in this book called Something with Sex. In this one, they are in some sort of modern era. They are swallowing sperm as a funny dare, or they are drying it off with a blouse that has been thrown in the laundry. They are talking about how sperm smells like blossoming linden tree, and they are laughing. And this is true. They are really laughing. Sex modern. Og i modernare tøy svøltu tei spine som en tvattluta avbjøing. Eller tei torska og ta borster vi en blose som færren i vask. Ta da storskneie, knirskaida som toppna luin. Ta være fri noen attana at årene leivspretto. Spin luktar av blomande lind, søtte tei og flente. Og hetta var veriligt. Tei flente. Thank you.